Here? About here?
All to this exhibition by a young Malawian artist, and I also wish at the very beginning to thank you all, my colleagues, excellencies from various countries, for coming over to patronize this art exhibition. We appreciate your support and your comments. I've received some of the comments you made about the art, and we thank you very much for those comments and indeed for being here this evening. Let me say that Kenneth Namalomba is a very young artist. I will be introducing him shortly. His art touches on issues that we are all interested in as UN ambassadors and countries. He tends to cover issues relating to children's rights, the child marriages, and I don't see many of those, but he has done some paintings on the environment. So indeed, he is a contemporary artist who is dealing with issues that are of particular importance to our countries. The one thing that pleased me the most was the fact that the issues are not just amongst us ambassadors, but as a young artist, he has decided to take them on and indeed do paintings and send his own messages to the world. Mr. Namalomba came into the US. He did an exhibition at the Ronald Reagan Building in Washington, D.C. He also did an exhibition at the Malawi Mission in Washington, D.C. And I thought, as a way not only of exposing the young talent, I invited him to come and do an exhibition at the United Nations. Also particularly because I also wanted to indicate that Malawi is committed as a member of the United Nations, as a signatory to various conventions, that we are committed to the protection of rights, particularly children's rights, and indeed ending child marriages, which is one of the themes that he is tackling. And you might wish to know that our president, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is a champion on ending child marriages, something that is Malawi takes very seriously. And I'm glad that a young man like him has taken on this particular theme, which is a current theme in Malawi, where we have also roped in our traditional leaders to assist us in ending child marriages. So I would like to congratulate Ken Namalomba in doing so. Let me introduce Ken. He will speak very briefly later on. Ken, would you like to come? This is our young artist, Ken Namalomba. I'll ask him to speak a little later on. But let me also say that this event would not have been possible without the support of my good friend, Gloria Pins, of Society and Diplomatic Review. She has kindly agreed to sponsor this particular event. And may I ask you please to give her a round of applause for Gloria. She will come and speak later on. There she is.
Thank you.
Together with Gloria, we also have the support of Wafa Ben Khalifa. She is a global ambassador for the Compact. she also has her own foundation, which supports.
It's Dawn of the Golden Gate, and she has just launched it for exactly what the ambassador is discussing now, to give where it's key in education, because the ambassador is a former professor and still a professor, and some other situations like that.
On that note, may I ask Gloria to make a few remarks?
Thank you, Ambassador. This was initiated because the ambassador is a professor. I think even the president of the country is a professor. And the Dawn of the Golden Gate, which is Wafa Ben Khalifa's main effort now, is education, and as the ambassador said, child brides, and particularly in the refugee camps, those children who desperately need education. She's very concerned about that. She is an honorary ambassador of the Golden Compact. She's from Saudi Arabia, so there's a third element to her name. It's Tarabulsi, but she, like many women today, she's harnessing her own maiden name, Ben Khalifa.
بتكلم عربي باللغة العربية. أنا يسعدني أكون موجودة بينكم اليوم وأكون موجودة وأدعم أفريقيا أولاً بما أني من جذور أفريقية، ويسعدني أحضر اللوحات الجميلة اللي بتعبر عن طفولة أفريقيا. وأنا سعيدة جدا أني أكون موجودة كمان لكم الداعمين لأفريقيا، وإن شاء الله كل العالم أكيد، بس أفريقيا أولا بالنسبة لي. شكرا.
I believe that Ambassador Omar from Morocco has volunteered to translate that. You're not going to do that? Well,
yes, please. No, Jerry can translate. I will translate.
Yeah. Okay. français?
فأنا فهمت يقول إيه anyway, she's saying, well, she said that she's happy to be here to be part of this exhibit that is with the theme of the African childhood, and she is proud because actually, even though she was introduced from being Saudi Arabia, her origins are Africans, and she's happy to support this, and she's hoping for success, and she would like to encourage these things that have African origins. Thank you.
كله تمام.
كله تمام.
أفريقيا أولاً بعدين.
That's Africa first, and then other things, but that's what she's saying. She's proud to be support everything African. I think that's what it is.
أفريقيا أولاً.
That's what it is. Yeah, I said Africa first, and then the rest of the world. That's what she says. All right, thank you. Shukran.
It's an artist. It's also the artist. Il veut faire quelques mots maintenant. Do you want to say a few words?
at this moment, I would like to ask Ken and the artist to say a few words about his work, and thereafter we'll just
Thank you all for coming. First of all, I would like to thank the ambassador to Malawi, the UN, for giving me the opportunity to come and declare here. Second, I would like to thank our sponsors of this event. And then thirdly, also all of you for coming. If you look at my exhibition, which is Tales of an African Child, it's basically in narration of the things that are happening in Africa. It's things that I've seen happening, and then most of the art that is done in my country, people focus on decorative art. People don't understand that art has the power to change things in the society. So I took it as a personal role to say I'll use my art to fight against the social injustices that are there. So whatever I do in my art, I'm just trying to fight for it. It's like something that it's an obligation to me to fight against that. And if you notice, you see that there's issues of child marriages. It's one of the issues that is very common, and people now think of it as a normal issue. They think of it as something that they just watch it happen and then they say, oh, it's a normal issue. Like they can see someone getting married as young as 14 years of age and they want to be questioned about it. The government is trying, but we can't just leave it to the government alone. Even artists have to come in and then try to see where they can fit in. Thank you.
At this point in time, all I should do is thank you all for coming. Enjoy the drinks and the food. Let us interact with the artists. I particularly wish to thank our sponsors for making sure that we are able to have this event. Thank you very much.
So I'm Kenneth Namalomba, an artist from Malawi, Africa. Basically, my art is about stories of an African child. I'm trying to use art as a way to communicate about the social injustices that are there in Africa. So if you go through my exhibition, you find out that there is different stories being told by almost each piece. For example, this one is one called Living in Fear. Living in Fear is a narration of what is happening to the African child in Africa. The African female child fails to realize his or her dreams because the society and some of its beliefs go against her. So if you look over in the painting, you find out there's these boxes. There are patterns in there. These patterns represent fragments of memory of things that have happened to her. And because of such things, this person is afraid to come out there and then try to actualize the self. Coming to this painting now, it's called Emerging. Emerging is about an African child who is trying to fight for her own rights as a human being and to be recognized just like any other person. This one is basically about almost every the African child. After slavery, colonization, discrimination, oppression, the apartheid itself. And in this one now, you see, it's an individual. It's not like a lot of people. It's about how each and every person should be able to fight for his or her own right. Because it's a personal thing, it's personal rights. And then even if you see other people's rights being oppressed, you also have to fight for them because it's an obligation that each and every person in the society has. This piece over here is called The Death of the Virgin. The death of the virgin as in the sense of the purity of the ideas that people have. If you look at most children, they have ideas of what they want to become, but it is the society that kind of kills those dreams. Now, there's spots in them representing those dreams that have been killed. And then there's this mask, which doesn't have eyes to show the death in it. And then the mouth itself is sealed in a way. So this person cannot actually say anything. So it's like someone who has died because of the failure to express themselves. And if you can't express yourself, it's almost impossible for you to develop the self. This piece over here is called Lost Souls. It's about the people that have robbed off Africa and then they are busy enjoying with the riches while Africa is in agony. Africa is very poor. Please go to the last one. I think this one should be the last one. This one is called Dances. It's basically about how things that people cannot be able to express in the society are mostly expressed through music. If you listen to the songs that are done at African dances by the women, you'll learn that those songs contain stories of the things that are happening in their homes, at work, and everywhere else. So basically, my art is just a narration of all those things that are happening in that society and how one can come to overcome such obstacles. Thank you.